Hey, this is Adam Torres, and I'm here to tell you that it has never been easier to start your very own podcast. At Mission Matters, our goal is to amplify stories that matter. That means we want to help you start your podcast because your story matters. We can do this in 3 different ways. 1, join our podcast school and take a free or paid course. 2, visit our resources page where we've already figured out what you need, such as where to host your podcast. Or 3, heck, we can even do everything for you through our podcast agency, including editing for cheaper than you can do in-house. Oh, and no contracts, service is month to month. Get started by heading over to missionmatters.com and click on Start a Podcast. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Luxury Podcast, your source for all things luxury and lifestyle. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Scott Holmes on the line. He's co-creator and CEO over at IMMORDL. Scott, welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so we have some big news to announce today. I'm excited to talk about it, and I'm not going to spoiler it for the listeners in the beginning, so I'm just going to leave them on that little cliffhanger. Let's just kick this episode off by talking a little bit more about what you're doing over at IMMORDL before we get into that announcement.
Well, thank you again. So IMMORDL, first of all, I guess you can tell by the name, we are out to really set a new standard for healthy beverage. It is pronounced IMMORDL, as you phonetically say it. So it's not, I'm immortal. And I have fun with it because I get to say I am immortal. So the first product that we came out with was a first of its kind, Nitro Super Coffee. And what was super about it was infused with superfoods. So maca, highest elevation of Peru, rhodiola, chia protein, coconut base. It was packed with goodness, or is packed with goodness. And yes, it does have caffeine. It is a organic Arabica coffee. So you roll all that up into one, and you have Nitro Super Coffee. And that's where we got our start. That's where we got our launch.
No, that's exciting. And I think, speaking of launches, I think that's a great transition. So let's get into what we're talking about today. So launching the first CBD vitamin shot called Super Immunity by IMMORDL. That's big news. Tell us more.
Well, yes, thank you. And again, this is one of those opportunities that in what I would call challenging times, this is really where brands and companies can step up. How are we going to meet this challenge? And IMMORDL already stands for physical harmony. We are all about efficacious ingredients. We're all about plant-based beverages. So we thought, wow, what a perfect opportunity to come to market with a true immunity shot. It's not been done. It is the first time that we have actually combined IMMORDL CBD, so cannabinoid, right? No THC, and vitamins. The vitamins are even unique in that we will have a vegan D3. And if your listeners are familiar with vitamin D right now in these times of a respiratory illness, is what the studies out there show, is that vitamin D is very important. Now, hopefully you're out there getting some sun, and you're getting out there and just naturally, but this is the first vegan vitamin D, and
wow.
It comes from an algae.
That's awesome. And as you say that, I'm in this dark studio, and I'm thinking to myself, no, Scott, I don't get sun. I record all-day podcast episodes, and I get my vitamin D through drops. And then on the weekend, I get some sun. So I'm not going to complain, but I had to throw that out there. So I'm looking forward I'm looking forward to trying these shots myself. Now I get to get my vitamin D in another manner also. So let's talk. Go ahead.
Well, before you answer the next question, I'll make sure to send you a variety pack because we actually have a vitamin. We have 3 different vitamins. We have a vitamin C, which of course is always good for you. Mm-hmm. A vitamin B complex, B1 and BC, and then the vitamin D. Now, it was very deliberate that if you put them all together in the variety pack, it's C and B and D. And yes, each one of them have 30 milligrams of CBD.
Man, that's awesome. That's really exciting for the launch. So tell us more about this. So this is going to be coming out, I believe, in the next week or two. I mean, tell us a little bit more about your launch, the plans for it. I mean, let's go a little bit further there, because I know a lot of the listeners here are going to be chomping at the bit to get some themselves.
Yes. Well, we are going to be online first and foremost, because even though we will be at retail for those retailers that are accepting CBD in the liquid form on the shelf, as you may or may not know. The Farm Bill came through. CBD is now legal across the country. There's still some we'll call it question as to how they are looking at the marketplace and where approvals are going to come in on the product. So, we want to just go the route of precaution. It is a supplement. It is manufactured legally and in a GMP, which is Good Manufacturing Practices facility, also organic facility. And so this will be rolling out to retail shelves for anyone who is accepting CBD products. And for those who just can't wait to find it on their local natural grocer, you can go online. And the IMMORDL.com, IMMORDL.com, is our main website. And then we'll also have the shopping component at IMMORDLCBD.com.
What are they going to be some of the, and obviously different people will use this differently, but what are going to be like your actually, I'm not saying recommended usage, but like how often do you think people should be like consuming these shots? Like just in general, what's going to be a good recommended dosage and amount, like when they should do it? Is it like drinking any health drink? Like they're just like a smoothie? Not obviously not size wise, it's a shot, right? But just to get a feel for the product and the usage.
Yeah. So similar, many have probably had a shot. 5 Hour Energy is an example. That's a different product, right? It's for energy. That said, no different. It's in a little 2 ounce shot, and 30 milligrams of CBD is enough of a milligram dosage to really be meaningful. Your listeners out there may have, I'm sure, heard, as 70% of audience polled, these are statistics I've heard, are now very aware of CBD and CBD and in foods and beverages and topicals. And so in 10 to 15 milligrams, it's really, you have difficulty really noticing anything, right? So when you start to get up to 25, 30 milligrams, now you can actually have an effect. This is important, right? Because now if you're familiar with your endocrine system is really helping. It's like at the control center of your body. It's helping different organs throughout your body. And they all have, naturally, we have CBD receptors. So when CBD connects to those receptors, it really puts your body into balance. And you can read about this. There's studies out there and topics online. You just do a Google search and you can find out more about it. But with 30 milligrams, you really do feel an effect. So we have one serving. To start, I would just do one a day, either choose your C or your B or your D vitamin. I personally, I will take all three a day.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's good. Especially, I like to hear your thought process on that, because some of the people listening, maybe they haven't used anything with CBD yet, and for them it's still just a buzzword, and they see it in the news and they're kind of curious and they want to. So I also see this as just a great product for somebody to easily get some of the benefits of it without it having to be complicated. Like it's a shot. You take your little shot like it was a 5 Hour Energy. Again, different product, but I just say that because a lot of people have heard of it, and you're done. So it's very easy. That's what I like about it too.
Yeah, thank you, and I agree. In fact, this is more of this information will start to come out into the general public, and as they start to become more familiar with it and purchasing or testing different products that are out there, is the dosage amount is an area that we just spoke of. Also, the form factor. If you take a beverage, right? So beverage is a great example and a wonderful form factor for a more of a quick response, right? So within 15 to 20 minutes, you might feel a bit more relaxed. It goes right into your bloodstream. So in a pill, right, and oftentimes it's a capsule or a pill or a tablet, it takes one much longer, and it may also not fully. You may not get the full effect or dosage that is in the vitamin. And I'm just speaking to vitamins, not even CBD at that point. I mean, most people know this. It's like you take a vitamin
liquid
and
vitamin.
You're not really getting the full effect of the vitamin.
No, this is great. So Scott, if somebody's listening to this and they want to keep up with the launch and IMMORDL and your other products also, what's the best way for them to connect and to learn more about the brand?
Well, I would first and foremost go to IMMORDL.com, so IMMORDL.com. We'll have a link to the IMMORDL CBD from there once that is launched, if it's not already launched by the time you're listening. And Instagram, Facebook, we typically lean more toward Instagram. I think that's the social du jour today. So go onto our Instagram. It's Instagram.com/IMMORDL. And follow us there, and you'll get a good sense of our ethos and our natural products.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Scott, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about all the great work you're doing over at IMMORDL. And also, congrats again on launching the first CBD vitamin shot. So, super immunity. So, all great stuff there. I'd love to see what you're doing with the company overall. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Luxury, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. I'd love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Scott, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate it.